and I'm going to show you how to use the HathiTrust Emergency Temporary Access Service, or ETAS. And what this is this is a service that's going to give you access to millions of copyrighted books that you normally wouldn't have access to for the duration of the COVID-19 shelter-in-place emergency. So HathiTrust is a collection of millions of digital books, and normally the collection has about 17 million volumes, and about 7 million of those are books that are in the public domain, which means anybody can access them anytime. The remainder of the books, about 10 million or so books, are copyrighted books that normally you can't access. But because of the emergency situation with COVID-19 and sheltering in place, you will have access to these books with some limitations. So let me show you how it works. So first of all, I'm going to go to HathiTrust. HathiTrust.org. Okay. And I have not logged in, and I'm going to do a search to show you what it's like before I log in and then after. So if I'm not logged in, I don't have access to all these millions of books that the emergency response is doing. So I'm going to do a catalog search, and you will want to do catalog searching when you are looking for books that are available to you, because that will give you all of the books. If you do full text only, you'll only see the books that are normally open to you and not the books that are available to you during the emergency service. So I'm going to search for an author. I'm going to use a UC Merced faculty member. Okay, so I haven't logged in. So the first book we're looking at, La Voz Argente, was written by Manuel Martin Rodriguez. It was published in 1995. The book is in copyright, and so it's telling me that I've got a limited view of it. I can't look at the whole book. Okay. Now, below that is another book, also by someone named Manuel Martin Rodriguez, but a different person. This book was published in 1902, and because it was published so long ago, basically anything before 1924, it is available for anyone to look at anytime, regardless of the emergency. So, again, full view, public domain book. The next book, another book, 1993, in copyright. Manuel Martin Rodriguez is one of the authors. Again, limited search only. Now, what I'm going to do is log in so I can take advantage of the emergency access. So I have to choose my partner institution, which is going to be UC Merced. So I'm going to have to scroll through all these lists of campuses. And going, University of California, there's UC Merced. And I'm going to click continue. And it's going to ask me to use the UC Merced single sign-on. And since I've already signed on today, it's just going to take me right into it. If I hadn't signed on yet, I'd have to do the dual verification, but I won't have to now because, I guess I do. Hang on. So it's going to send me a push, and it goes to my phone, and I'm doing that right now. You can't see me doing it. I'm going to accept this, and now it's going to let me in. Okay. I'm going to close this. Now that I've logged in, notice the first book, La Voz Argente, 1995, normally copyright, but we have temporary access because of the emergency service. Now, the next book, again, which is always in the public domain, always available, just says full view. The third book, remember, that was also not available because it's in copyright, temporary access. So I click temporary access, and waiting. Okay, and I'm going to check the book out. Now, the way this works is, because of the temporary access service limitations that have to do with copyright and other considerations, I can only access this book while I'm reading it. I can't download it, save it to my hard drive. All I can do is click, check it out, and look at it. Now, I get this book for an hour of reading time. And I can read the whole book. I can read anything I want in it. I can also search in the text if I want to. And I get it for an hour, but if I keep reading and I keep, let's say, moving pages and so on and showing activity, it'll keep extending my time. But if I have it open for an hour and I don't do, don't move any pages, don't do any reading, it's going to eventually time me out. And here we go. So anyway, so I can read this whole book online, but I can't save it, can't download it, and I just get it for a limited amount of time. Now, what books do I have access to? You have access to, of course, all the public domain books that you normally have access to, but you also have access to any book that is owned by a UC library, whether it's UC Merced, UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC San Diego, doesn't matter. If one of the 10 UC libraries owns it, then you'll be able to access it online. But there's a catch to it, which is it's a one-to-one relationship. So if, let's say, this book here by La Voz o Gente, let's say 3 campuses owned a copy of this book. That means 3 people could look at this book at the same time, but no more. All right, if 10 campuses owned copies, each had one copy, then 10 people could look at it. If only one campus had this book, then only one person could look at it at a time. So that's a limitation. It's a one-to-one relationship based on the number of print copies the UC libraries own. And so one of the things you'll want to do when you use these books and are reading them is, if you are done with it, if you click return early, click that, then it means other people could then access the book that you are currently using. So that's really about all there is to it. It does have the limitations of it has to be in one of the UC libraries. It's a one-to-one correspondence between number of copies and number of simultaneous users. And you get it for an hour. Unless you keep using it, then you can extend automatically. You can't download it. And it's going to end whenever the emergency access ends. So that's pretty much it. If I go back to HathiTrust, to the main page, again, you want to search the catalog to see the maximum number of books available. Obviously, I search by an author, I can search by a subject, I can search for picking sustainability as a topic, and what we're seeing here are books that are available to us. Here's a temporary access book. This book, it looks like Encyclopedia of Sustainability. It looks like no. Oh, and I have to click the record to see its multiple volumes. So I'd have to click that to see what's available. Here's another one, Linkages of Sustainability. Obviously, a UC library owns at least one copy. I can access it. You can see that there's a lot of books in here that are either owned by UC libraries or, for example, this one, Full View. It means it's always available, and it's always available because it's a government document. Government documents don't have copyright. So anyway, you either look for full view or temporary access, and that means you can access it here. If I go back to my, let's see, where was I? Encyclopedia of Sustainability. If I click the catalog record, there are multiple volumes, and there's 3 volumes, and I could look at any one of those because somewhere a UC library has one of these books. So that's kind of it. If you have questions, you can go to the UC Merced Library website, and you can either use the 24/7 digital chat service, or if you want to make an appointment with a librarian, you can do that through the library homepage and set up an appointment time to meet virtually, of course, with a librarian and talk to them through Zoom. If you have questions about how to use this, here's my Encyclopedia of Sustainability. And that's really it. It's fairly simple. Just remember that there are limitations, that it's not going to be available forever. Whenever this COVID-19 crisis ends, and the sooner the better, of course, this won't be available anymore. But for now, you can use it, and you do have to log in using your UC Merced username and Usernet ID. And that's pretty much it. Good luck with your searches. And again, if you have questions, contact the library, and we have a couple ways we can help you if you run into any issues.